we are smiling tonight, unlike last year around this time. Big Blue Nation is celebrating as the Kentucky Wildcats take down Troy in the first round of the NCAA Tournament.
At a program like Kentucky, a first-round win might not seem like a big deal, but fans are fired up for this one. Our sports team joins us now with coverage of the big win.
Hey, good evening, Marvin and Andrea. Michael Epps here with Jordan Adams, hanging out, watching the game. We just got wrapped up in, Big Blue Nation. Nice little sigh of relief. No first-round exit this year. I think they're still a little nervous here the rest of the weekend because they got to get out of the first weekend, Jordan, for the first time since 2019, awaiting to see who they will play in that matchup between Illinois and Xavier. But so far, so good for the Cats.
Yeah, I would say so. It was a little rocky maybe in the first half. Maybe some groans here and there from some of our staff here watching the game. But in the second half, it started to roll. And it didn't help that Troy really couldn't hit the back of a barn side.
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously, you know, Troy, we knew that they are a good defensive team.
Good offensive rebounding team.
Yeah.
But that means they can't really score.
And that showed up in this game. Troy had 10 steals, so they created a little bit of havoc, but not too many turnovers for the Cats outside of that. But the Cats shot pretty well, 47% from the field, 38 from three. They did miss a ton of free throws, which was a frustrating, really reoccurrence throughout this season, and it showed tonight.
Yeah, a guy who could be a problem at the rim against a team like Troy. Their tallest player is 6'8". We got a 7-footer in Amari Williams, but he really struggled close to the basket. And then when he did get fouled, Michael, he really struggled at the line. He should have had a lot more points. Did a great job rebounding, but easily should have had a double-double against a team like Troy.
Was a single-digit game for a lot of this one, but the final score, 76-57. Kentucky gets it done, and as you mentioned, Otega Oweh with a fantastic game, 20 points, 8 boards, and 6 assists. Colin Chandler looked good, 9 points, knocked down some shots.
Some flashes.
He talked to our crew up in Milwaukee in the locker room just a few minutes ago. Take a listen to what the freshman had to say.
This whole season has done a good job of preparing us. It kind of just felt like a routine game in Rupp Arena. I mean, Rupp Arena is packed out every game with the energy. That's crazy. So it felt familiar for some reason. So, I mean, and we've been playing with pressure on us the whole season. So that felt comfortable as well. I think the rest of the guys felt that as well.
All right, Jordan, let me do some bookkeeping for you real quick. As mentioned, Otega had 20, Andrew Carr with 13, Kobe Brea with 13, Brandon Garrison with 13. He had a frustrating first half. It was really trigger happy on that three-point shot, but he settled in, got some nice buckets. Amari Williams had 13 boards. Lamont Butler was scoreless. Had 3 assists, but you could tell with that massive brace, you could tell that's impacting his shot, and he's struggling to knock down some three-point shots.
No doubt about it, but I want to give a little bit more shine to that guy, Colin Chandler. Did a lot of good work in the second half, 3 threes. You kind of can see it. He's getting better every game. We know he took 2 years off, and you can kind of see it in his game.
Missing Jackson Robinson at that shooting guard spot, so it would be huge if Colin Chandler can keep on improving. We'll see how he does on Sunday. We have to join our legend, our go-to man for some Kentucky analysis, Dick Gabriel, the Big Blue insider, the Mr. Big Blue. He just got wrapped up calling the Kentucky baseball game, so I know he's been busy. Dick, I appreciate you taking a few minutes with us. I know, obviously, you've been tuned into this Kentucky basketball program for a lot of decades. I won't age him. I won't say how many decades, but I know this has been a tough moment in this program. So for Mark Pope to get a win in his first game, how big is that just to kind of turn things positive here in the program?
Everything was so positive, Michael, all year long. But I think this is just kind of the cherry on top, isn't it? When you've got a guy who had yet to win an NCAA tournament game, he finally gets one, and in convincing fashion. So I think that's a huge step forward. That's a big stride for this program.
And Dick, obviously, you mentioned that the last couple years obviously haven't been the greatest. Do you think there was any added pressure with the likes of Pitino and Coach Cal already getting their win this season after all that went on last year?
It could have been, but I think most people are just so wrapped up in the joy that has come with being part of the Big Blue Nation. I think a lot of fans would just as soon, you know, I don't want to say forget about John Calipari, but keep their sights focused on their coach they've got now. But, man, this Pitino story has just been fascinating all year long, you know, and the fact that there's a reality documentary series to go along with what's occurring on the basketball floor makes it even more fascinating.
Hey, Dick, you know me. I'm an outsider. I'm from Michigan. So I'm just rooting for these stories. I'd love to see Pitino get amped up and win games in March. And I'd love to see Cal win. I think that's going to be an awesome matchup. But, of course, all the Kentucky fans are zoned in on Sunday. So Illinois or Xavier, we'll see. But how do you like the Cats' chances to advance out of the first weekend for the first time since 2019?
I've liked them since I saw the draw, just because they've got so many ways to beat you, especially now with Lamont Butler semi-healthy. As you guys said, he's not even close to being 100%. But just the fact that he's there and can put pressure on the ball, which triggers the rest of the defense, I think is a big step. But they got to make shots, and they did that tonight. I got to sneak a look a little bit between innings, and, they were struggling with a team that, as you guys said, does some things well. And at this time of year, everybody does something well. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. But the bottom line is, Kentucky's got to rebound, they got to guard, and they got to hit open shots when they've got them. And you know what else? Got to hit free throws, man, because that's been a problem through the years for this Kentucky team. No matter who's been on the team, no matter who's been the coach, lately it just seems like they've missed opportunities with missed free throws. Can't let that happen again.
Hey, Dick, I got one quick one for you. You kind of mentioned it. You might have just answered it. What do you think the biggest thing the Cats need to do to get into that next round and get that win on Sunday? What would that be?
Man, that's a good question. If I could pick one thing, I would say hit shots. I almost said a rebound, but, for the longest time, John Wooden, and even you young guys know who that is, he thought rebounding was the number one stat. Late in his career, he changed his mind and went to making shots. I think if Kentucky makes shots, especially from the three-point arc, I don't mean 50% or whatever, anything crazy, but just, hit their normal percentage, they got a big chance.
Dick Gabriel, he saw Kentucky win with John Calipari in 2012, Tubby Smith in 98, Rick Pitino in 96. I'm not going to date you here, Dick. So we won't talk about Joe B in the 70s, but he got one too. Dick Gabriel, you are an expert. Thank you so much for joining us on a busy evening for you guys. Marvin and Andrea, a big-time win for the Cats. We'll talk more about the game later in sports, so stay tuned. But for now, back over to you.